Welcome. It's Good Morning, Anambra. Today, Monday, and of course, it's the 24th day of November 2025, and we're so delighted to be counted amongst the living. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful weekend and, of course, wonderful night rest. My name is Nonya Nwokoye, welcoming you to Good Morning, Anambra show today.
And I'm Ajuruchuku Okabwe. Good morning. Let the show begin.
All right, we take a look at beginning with the press review. Do join us.
Good morning. Glad to have you here in our studio this morning, this lovely Monday morning. And in the studio, we have our guest that will be doing justice to the newspaper and then news making rounds on ABS website. Let's welcome Samuel Ololo. Good morning, Samuel.
Good morning, Ajulu. Good morning, Naye. Good morning, Anambra. Thank you very much.
Hope you had a wonderful weekend.
We thank God. In Nigeria, once we wake up, we just say thank you, Jesus.
All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of what we have for you this morning, beginning with news making rounds on ABS website. And the first news we have for you this morning is Soludo inspect ongoing project, reassures of accelerated development. National Media Summit, University lecturer Pete calls for improved safety of journalists. 38 kidnapped worshippers in Kwara State regain freedom. Kebbi State government orders closure of schools over rising insecurity. Paul Pogba makes first professional appearance in more than 2 years. And also we have Israelis military kills senior member of Hezbollah in airstrike. And last but not the least, on news making rounds from the ABS website, flooding kills 90 people in Vietnam. That's all we have for you this morning from ABS website.
You know, talking about closing of schools, we saw what was circulating last week, the letter from the Minister of Education, you know, calling on unity schools to shut down due to the high level of insecurity. And now Kebbi State, the whole of Kebbi State is shutting down schools. I hope they will take their exams before shutting down so that children don't really miss out much.
Well, it's unfortunate that this is even what we are discussing, because whether they take exam or not, I think it's important we consider the safety of the children and the students, because what would it profit anyone, especially the parents and then the students itself, and for Nigeria as a whole, where you want to rush off to write your exams and end up in the den of these kidnappers. But I think what the government is doing, ordinarily, the state we have found ourselves is what they are expected to do, shut down everything. But beyond shutting down, it's now important that the government even recognize the fact
I don't even know whether you saw another you know, is it picture of a governor? That governor that was saying who removed the security in that school before that incident happened. I don't know whether you saw that.
No, I did not actually.
Yes.
So this is part of what I'm saying. The federal government, especially the president, needs to declare state of emergency on security in Nigeria. Because beyond shutting down schools, the question now is for how long will these schools be shut down? Even if they recall students back to school, would that then guarantee that whatever threat that was existing has now been fizzled away? Ordinarily, we are supposed to be in a country where events like this, every parastatal or every apparatus of the government, security apparatus most especially, should begin to brief the president. And as they are briefing the president should be giving should be doing a public broadcast, giving the people, okay, those sensitive ones, they can keep it, but making the people understand that this is a trying moment, this is what they need, the support they need from the citizens. But so far, what we have been getting is denials, propaganda, gaslighting, and it is not good.
And even the people that regained their freedom in Kwara State, one begins to ask how. you know, because we were told that they were demanding some billions of naira for their release. All of a sudden, we are seeing in the news that they've regained freedom.
For the family of these people who regained their freedom, and for these victims who are now survivors, they don't want to know whatever happened. Their own interest is they have gotten their freedom. That is most especially important. But the aftermath is, if the government continues to lie and cover their acts because of whatever reason, I think they are looking for political correctness instead of governance. And we have mentioned this over time. Ordinarily, no sane government should bargain or negotiate with terrorists. How much more giving them money? But we are in a country now where we now see terrorists every time having peace deal with the government in different states, in different places.
Even National Youth Service Corps writing to tell the children to make money available and keep with their parents so that peradventure something like that happen. In fact, there are things that are laughable in this country. You know, when we saw that mail, you know, going the rounds, in fact, I thought it's just maybe somebody just cooked up something and was sharing.
So, okay, to be fair to NYSC, they said it's not, they have debunked it.
Okay.
But the truth is, it was proposed, it was a draft, a draft document that was proposed to NYSC, but did not eventually adopt it as a policy.
Okay.
They wrote a rejoinder saying it is not true. Now,
right.
Even though the contractor they gave, the consultant they gave the work to, added that, but they removed it. But the question now is, if you have removed it, what is the position of NYSC students or NYSC members core members when they eventually get kidnapped? What would NYSC do? That is what we are even looking
pray
at.
They don't get kidnapped. All right, let's go to the papers now and see what's trending in front of our national dailies. The first paper we are taking a look at is the Authority newspaper, and the Kwara released abductees is, you know, taking the center stage. Breakthrough, 38 Kwara church abductees rescued. That's a report coming from the president. Tinubu assures the citizens of safety. Other stories there: insecurity, Tinubu withdraws VIPs, police FG to recruit 30,000 policemen. And insecurity, Pope demands immediate release of students abducted in Niger. Financial institutions crucial to workers' security. NSITF speaking. Aid denies authorship of damaging document against Akpabio. And we still have 50 abducted Niger Catholic school students escape. Reunite with families. ABC Transport holds AGM, assures the shareholders of profitability. FG warns fish farmers against antibiotics misuse. Senate canvasses for adoption of indigenous security solutions. And quickly we see the next paper before we comment. The Punch, mass abduction crisis. Tinubu pulls 100,000 policemen from VIPs, with a rider there saying President meets service chiefs, DHQ reviews operations, 50 Niger pupils, 38 Kwara churchgoers freed. Okay. And Nestor Limited in receivership, receive manager, okay, that's a release from Next Oil. And of course, we have audit uncovers over 61 billion naira payment breaches in NMPCL. States pile up 1.06 trillion naira debt despite record allocations. Okay, that's the much trending in the two papers. And let's see, you know, what actually is going on. I don't know. 38 Kwara abductees free, then 50 students escape.
So sometimes you begin to wonder what's actually happening here.
What is going on?
What is, somebody is asking what's going on. Federal government.
Chibok are still there. We are still, we're not still done with Chibok, you know.
Samuel, what would you say is this somersault of, you know, the bandits? Are they losing their means of keeping their captives hostage, or are they scared of the government coming out to want to resolve and then ending security? What could be responsible for this?
So the first question, I think, before we even begin to react to this, is to ask, is the government actually saying the truth to these 50 students who
escaped.
Who escaped.
And already uniting with the families.
How can 50 students escape? Well, it goes further to really buttress what we are talking about. We have lost faith in the government. And a government that is built on lies, unfortunately, not that it will not stand, it is building bad precedents and legacy for the citizens in the country. That moment where people cannot, and they're giving rooms for speculations, and speculation at times like this is not actually important, or it's not actually good, because this is indeed a fight against terrorism as it were. What we're expected to do is every citizen adding their voice, every information you can give, every support you can give to the government to make sure that these people are actually caught. But if the government on their own part are lying, they are ending up building skepticism in the mind of the citizens.
I don't know whether you watched what Peter Obi said yesterday. Peter Obi said that these people say they want to come and help us, and you're giving excuses. That it's like somebody you're in your house and you're hungry, and somebody noticed that you're hungry and decided to bring food for you. You now tell the person, no, we ate yesterday, we've not eaten this morning, please don't go. That on his own part, he said, let them come. Now, seeing this kind of stories in front of our papers this morning, one may begin to wonder what actually is going on, like we've asked before. And of course, are they coming out to say these things because of what has been going on? That Trump making the call, saying that he's coming to Nigeria to put an end to genocide that's happening. Then our people going there to talk with them that there is no genocide. People going to give, they say that there are witnesses. There are some witnesses there. Some say that no genocide. Some people, even the woman that came that was affected directly to give her own testimony. So what actually is going on in the country, let me ask again, with what we are seeing in the papers this morning?
So what is going on in the country is the lives of every Nigerian is a minute away from embracing danger. I would say that. That is just typically what is going on. Whether it is Christians, whether it is Muslims, we would say the lives of Nigerians are just a minute away from trouble. And that is why I said every day when you go out and you come back home, you say, thank God. Even these days, even at home, nobody knows what is going to happen. Okay, look at what happened at the Ekiti. Is it not people who were in the church and worshiping God that bandits came or terrorists came and kidnapped them and packed them away?
Kwara State.
Kwara State came and carried them away. So what bad did they do? It's not like, and sometimes some persons will say the best way to be security, beyond being security conscious, don't move at night. Sometimes these things happen broad daylight. So the unfortunate thing is these things can happen to anybody and at any point in time. But let us be careful, because the good thing is the US we are talking about just don't talk. These people are very good at data. Beyond the data, they analyze it and they simulate. And so these are the tools they use to make their pronouncements. But for us, we are looking at sentiment, we are looking at emotions, we are looking at what to justify. So I want to imagine that Christians are saying they are being killed. Some other people are saying it's not, Christians are not being killed, that they are also being killed. In fact, they have been killed more. So I think what we should be doing now is every sane Nigeria should add their voices to make sure that the government do its work in terms of security. Look at the kind of efforts and lobby that the president has done in trying to push for tax reform, in trying to increase revenue streams. Despite the oppositions that he met earlier, he was still able to rigmarole his way to make sure that he has his way. So what happens to security? Why should every day Nigerians continue to be killed? And these people, they say the tax is for infrastructure, they say the tax is for security, they say the tax revenue they're getting for revenue is for development. Whereas our lives are being endangered every day and every time.
Okay, let's go to the next paper for discussion this morning, and that's the Guardian newspaper. We begin with the story making rounds on the mast of the Guardian. Court warns First Bank Nigeria access Zenith Bank MDs against defying order in Nest Oil's alleged 1 billion naira debt suit. And then we have at the banner headline, international pressure mounts on federal government as states close schools over kidnappings. That you find on page 6. Let's go to the next paper, and that's the Nation newspaper. And we're still talking about widest circulating newspaper. That's the Nation newspaper, alleged $1 billion debt claim. First Bank, Access Bank, Zenith Bank, MDs risk imprisonment over disobedience of court order. These two stories are conflicting because the Nation newspaper is saying it's 1 billion naira, while, the Guardian is saying 1 billion naira, and then the Nation is saying $1 billion. Wow, that's interesting. Then we have the banner headline on the Nation newspaper, 38 Kwara abductees rescued, 51 Niger peoples return home. I won't relent, says Tinubu. Is he taking the glory? Was he the brain behind the release or the escape of these 51? Quickly, let's see what the Daily Independent has for us this morning so we can all talk on these three papers that we've just discussed. MPC faces tightrope walk as inflation pressures mount. That you can find on page 29. And then we have, I am monitoring security situation nationwide. Tinubu assures 50 Niger pupils escape from captivity. 38 Kwara church worshippers regain freedom. U.S. signals border efforts to protect Nigeria's Christians. And that's what we have for you. The president is really talking tough here, saying that he's monitoring security situation nationwide, and then he says he won't relent. That's on the front page of the Nation newspaper. 51 people's return home. I won't relent, says Tinubu. Wow. Samuel Ololo, can Nigerians go to bed sleeping with a quarter of their eyes closed, based on what the president has just asserted?
Governance and development, beyond perception, beyond words of mouth, are what we feel. The citizens, when they have this sense of safety, you don't need anybody to continue to preach it.
Now, talking about the sense of safety, is it going to be just having these kids released or escaping, and we're not catching no culprits, no bandit has been, be caught, their camp destroyed, we are hearing people escaping? Is it more like a deal gone behind the scene? Because if these people were rescued or maybe they escaped, at least the intel from where they were abducted and everything, the police, the DSS, the army, whosoever, would have gone there to tell us that, okay, now they've raided those places and even more captives were released. But nobody seems to have captured any of this. So what do you think is actually going beyond the scenes here? Because in my own layman's thinking, based on security, operatives and the rest of it all, there should be more to these stories than we're just seeing.
Also, this also goes to show that the security agencies and security architecture in Nigeria is indicting itself. What I mean by the indicting itself is, this is not how it's been done. They have been attending to issues with Kids Glove. We know where they say Operation Python Dance, Operation Crocodile Smile, and the likes of it. Yes, they will also tell that they have Operation Doye in those areas. But when it comes to, there are certain people that, it seems they are the owner of Nigeria. And when the patriotic Nigerians cry and call for help, they tend to twist the narrative and saying that they are not patriotic. The question now is, these people, these students that ran away, the important thing is, ordinarily, if it is a working system, by now we should have been gathering more intel. And I don't know why we are more reactionary than preventive. 50%. Do you know what 50 means? By the time you might have gotten account.
They've already reunited with their families.
So by the time you might have gotten account, different account and experience of these people, what this one had and a lot of this, it would have made enough sense for even the DSS and the security architecture to do what they are expected to do. But what are we expecting? Where a major general was killed in this same country, and it seems nothing happened. So, we just don't understand it. And it's unfortunate. This goes deeper to show the decay of leadership that we are having. And when we are crying, this is exactly what we are crying about. And people who are sitting on the fence are not doing good. people who are protecting this government, thinking they're laundering their image, they're not also doing good. Yes, it is these children. Who knows whose children to be next? Who knows who to be next? And I have tried to reduce and to remove myself completely from having that score. 50 persons were killed, 25 were kidnapped. So we have succeeded in reducing the lives of Nigerians to mere numbers. Imagine the post-traumatic stress disorder that these people and their family members are made to face every day of their
And
life.
let's also pray that all we are seeing is not just mere on the front of national dailies, you know, that as they are saying it, they are doing something towards it. I was tempted to ask, you know, are they just waking up? But I said in my mind, there's this adage in Igbo, no sitadima, no debabo, you know, if they can actually push it, you know, very hard and push it forward, being intentional about it and get results. That's what we are talking about. Let it be, if it's because of what Trump said that we are seeing all these things, if it's going to end for our own good, let it be. All right, let's run the next papers for review. We don't really have much. We just have the Daily Trust and the Nigerian Tribune, but let's see how it goes. Insecurity on the Daily Trust newspaper, 13 teenage girls abducted in Borno. Wow. 13 teenage girls. One begins to wonder why girls. Maybe they went to girls' school. All right. In front of the Nigerian Tribune, we have these stories making their headlines there. 38 worshippers. We've seen that before. Now, Tinubu orders withdrawal of police from VIPs. And alleged $1 billion Nest Oil debt. First Bank, Access Bank, Zenith Bank MDs risk imprisonment. Wow. Over disobedience of court order. What is going on? See, from 48 contempt of court on pages. Okay, these are much stories we are trending this morning. Now, let's look at the issue of withdrawing police from VIPs in the country.
100,000.
So
Okay, what they are used to, you know.
So I don't understand, and we would say this also. It's important that the government understand the place of truth-saying in governance. And this is not the first time that we hear this kind of order or remark or instruction or whatever you want to call it. Let us not also forget that most times, even prior to elections, we hear the government, the police, IG, the president say they are withdrawing police,
So
they are withdrawing orderlies and the like. But when we see these same men, we still see them with their police.
The VIPs include the president, the Senate president. Are they not VIPs?
Of course they are.
The president, the Senate president, all these business moguls that go with police. They are the people that he's talking of. So I hope he's going to start with himself. So that others, it will be easier for others now. It will be easier for others to give up.
So you see, this is what happens when we have a government or people who are in government that are interested more in their image than real governance. If ordinarily, and we question the system that bring people to power. That is why most times we continue to call for free and fair election, we continue to call for inclusivity, we continue to call for level playing ground, so that anybody that the citizens eventually say this is the person they want would reflect the wishes of the people that made them vote them in. But with the kind of madness we have, where people are now ganging up, using the apparatus of the state to perpetrate themselves in office, they're now feeling like they are gods. Then law and order is next to nothing. The police is fighting the military. That is the height of it. And if there is, the question I'm asking now, and I think for we who are social development actors, what would happen or what should we do when those who are in authority, who have been given the mandate to act, are not acting? Just like it is the responsibility of the police, right, to secure the citizens. When they are not doing it, what should really happen? Is it that the citizens should not take claws in their arms, in their hands, and go buy arms, or what? Then, if the IG of police should query anyone and fails to do that, what should we do? The third question is, if an institution by the Constitution fails to do their work, what really should happen? Should the citizens revolt? Let me not begin to put words or thoughts into our mind, but this is a reflection that we need to have to ensure that everybody is held extremely accountable, beyond words, but in actions.
Okay, I don't know whether our president have actually seen what we are seeing in front of the Daily Trust, you know, when he's saying he's not going to relent and all whatnot. You're making effort to see that there is security. And these people are going further to, you know, make the state ungovernable by going further to abduct more 13 teenage girls in Borno State. So,
so I also understand that this could be, when it comes to social media, what has happened in the past can still come up. But the question is, why is it even happening? Just yesterday night, when I was going through to get myself abreast and updated with information happening in the country, I saw via X, former Twitter, it was posted there. This was happening at TikTok now. The bandits were now on live with Nigerians. I mean, live show, bandits and Nigerians. And what I heard a female voice asking them, why are they disturbing them? And why don't they allow them to rest? They should go. They should leave Nigeria. And it was just more like a caricature now. You now see bandits with their face. They are not even covering their faces. In TikTok, live, discussing with Nigerians. And the people talking are laughing over it. So this is to make you understand that Nigeria has become so ungovernable that I doubt if we still have a territory. And anything every sane or reasonable Nigerian can do to ensure that we take back our country, I mean, we should welcome it. Those people who are singing, massaging the ego of the president, telling him all is well, and then you see these service chiefs sitting with the president and taking photo ops. And for me, these are photo ops. Beyond the conversation they have had, beyond the promises the government and the president has made, I still bet you, by next week, the question is, who would be down next?
Yeah, still talking about security, insecurity as it is in Nigeria, in the last 2 decades, people seem to have, forgotten about how this whole thing originated. Like most pundits will say, in order to get this issue wrapped up, we need to go to the very beginning where it began, and there were people instrumental into bringing these people into this country for whatever reason they had. But these people have not been called in with evidences that are out there to be questioned. They are still free people. They had a deal with certain people, and then the deal didn't even actually go. We've had people like El Rufai come up to say that these bandits were imported by them in order, if Jonathan wanted to sit tight. We've seen Sheikh Gumi have interaction with these people, conversation. Even your sitting, even your sitting VP, you understand, was one time, not even accused, it was there when Sokoto was found in one of his guest houses. Now, in a country that is fighting insecurity and a country that is having 50 students reuniting with family, and nobody, no bandits, no terrorist has been, brought to book. When we have the main people that orchestrated this thing, bearing in mind that the former president is dead, do you think that by this little 51 people escaping and 35 church members being rescued, is that going to be the end of this insecurity we have in this country? Or do we have to start mentioning names and then start rounding these people up based on the evidences out there?
So my fear is not even what has happened or what will happen. My fear is the uncertainties behind all this. That is the greatest. And in the face of this level of insecurity, there is no peace, there is no development. Even foreign investors who are supposed to come and invest in the country will be running away. We have our partners, foreign partners, who were supposed to come to Nigeria for a meeting, cancelling the meeting and postponing it to next year because citing what is currently going on. This is exactly what happens. No, the question is, how can the economy be opened in this kind of situation? And let me say, the current president failed it when they were playing politics over a lot of things. When Goodluck wanted to remove fuel subsidy, they played politics with it. When he wanted to buy arms, They played politics with it. They went to the extent of even conniving with Obama. Then, of course, it's in the media because they wanted to come into power. So virtually everything or anything the then president under PDP administration, Goodluck Jonathan, was doing, they were playing politics with it. They were opposing it. Now, the chicken has come home to roost, and he is in power. If they had condemned these things and added and supported the government, and this is really an eye-opener for Nigerians and for even opposition parties, be careful of what you play opposition with. There are things that when it comes, don't even sit on the fence, condemn it outrightly, because it is just a matter of 4 years for this, the mandate given to him. After 4 years, what happens next? If you are opposing him, you are only entrenching that violence, that evil, and it might become so entrenched that it becomes so difficult to be rooted out. That is what we are facing now.
All right, a lot is actually happening in our country, Nigeria, but all hope is not lost because we have no other nation to call our own but this country, great Nigeria. And that's how we're wrapping up the press review for this morning. We'd like to thank you so much, Ololo, for your time this morning.
Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
All right, sit back. We have more coming up on Good Morning Anambra Show.